Welcome to U Talk. I'm Megan Demolina, school counselor at Noble Middle School. Our show is all about the middle school student. Testing, bullying, dating, stress, and so much more. We discuss it all. Joining me each month is a dynamic and engaging panel of middle school students ready to discuss the issues and tackle the tough questions. We kick off our show with some Q&A, featuring questions on a variety of topics from middle schools throughout the school system that our panel of students are ready to answer. No question is too tough, no topic is too difficult. All right, panelists, our first question today. This year, my parents put me in a program for math. I don't like this program. They give way too much homework, and it's supposed to help me get better at math in school, but I barely have enough time to get my school homework done because of that. I've told my parents, but they say that it will help me. Now I can't join extracurricular programs at school or hang out with my friends, all because of this program. I can't keep up with this. They give me work that I don't even do at school, so how is this helping me? I feel like my childhood is just ruined.
Whoa.
Let's talk about this and how this student is feeling about this extra math program that
I don't know if it's like totally ruined.
Yeah.
Like it sounds like it's on every day of the week, which kind of sucks. But like, I mean, on weekends you can always like hang out with your friends. You can always do sports and stuff. Like there's like spring break and stuff. I mean, you can always just like wait for that. But
It
I mean,
seems like this is probably like
Yeah.
a high school class. So I think it's definitely not for nothing. Which I think this person should probably just keep on trying and keep on working, and just keep on talking to counselors and people to talk to, maybe even talk to their friends about it, and just keep trying.
Sure.
And just remember that this is it's going to turn out to be good later on because of high school.
Yeah, it sounds like reaching out for support and maybe knowing that that student's not alone and having the patience to maybe go through the program and to work this time out in his life or her life as far as like getting this extra math help and support and talking to people about that and how do you balance and how do you fit that in when the student's parents are thinking that it's probably for the better and helping, but it sounds like the student is not feeling that and feeling overwhelmed. Noah, what do you think about this?
I mean, I already know that for me, math isn't my greatest subject, but like, I think he just should give it more time. If it keeps going the way it's going, then he should let his parents know.
True, that's not really mentioned here. Talking to parents about where they're really coming from is a good step. Kind of open that conversation and talk about what's working, what's not working, giving it time. I think that's a really important fact and thing that you brought up as far as like just today's society. We're fast paced, we want a quick fix, and sometimes we just have to give it time and let things work out and try our best at the things that we are involved in, and hopefully in the long run, right, it will help. That's always the goal. What do you think, Maya?
Well, I think you should definitely like talk to your teacher and tell her that you need like time to do other stuff outside of schoolwork, because there's a good balance between schoolwork and extracurricular.
Absolutely.
and like you gotta understand that this is like just for the better. Kind of like sometimes like your parents like care for you. Like they want this for you. Like it's not their life. Like I don't know. Yeah, they care for you. Yeah.
Right, they probably wouldn't be going through this effort,
Yeah.
to try to provide this extra support if they didn't care for their child or love them and want to see them do the best that they can do.
My mother always tells me I'm her main priority, and I always come first for her.
That's right.
Also, you got to think there's probably also people in that class that are also going through the same scenario as this person is. So you should probably try to branch out to other kids in that class and try to make friends with those people, because they can also help if they know what they're doing, and they can help you, and you can hang out with them on the weekends and help and study.
That's a great suggestion. Find students that are also in the same boat and find students that, are trying to either get their grade up or work a little bit harder in a certain subject and kind of get together and form a study group or, some type of support from peers is also very important. Great suggestions. Thank you. Our next one says, I'm anxious about my future, and I know That's a bit weird at this age because I'm only in 8th grade. But I have a ton of things I want to do when I grow up, and I'm worried that I won't get to do them. They're all those unrealistic things that literally every kid wants to do at some point. You know, dancer, actor, singer, writer. But I'm actually really invested in learning such things. I dance and act regularly, and I love to write stories and songs, and I also record and sing them. But what happens after college? I only have 4 years until I go to college. So what do I do after that if I really want to achieve my goals? I know that I have a while to decide what I really want to do, but sometimes I get stressed about growing up and worry that I'll never be able to do what I love. Any advice?
You're really like caring to like do acting and stuff. Like most people, like they just, that's what they want to do, but they're not actually like trying for it. You know, like you're actually anxious for it and you want that.
It definitely sounds like this student is passionate about those types
determined
of activities and wanting to pursue the, more of a creative outlet and a creative pathway.
Also, if they like really want it, you're able to work hard enough, and if you keep trying over and over again, you'll eventually probably.
Sure, absolutely. And finding different outlets, I'm sure YouTube videos have created and sparked a lot of interest in students in trying to, get their songs out there or put their plays or different dance numbers and performances that they do just to be seen. And I think a lot of people have seen young students or young children kind of actually rise to fame quickly because of YouTube, for example. But, so maybe, we have a little bit of that dreamer in all of us, but I think that what you're all saying, just kind of give it some time and keep practicing. What other suggestions or ideas do you have for this student about, the high school pathway or college, university after, kind of going through all of the student's concerns? What are your thoughts?
So I would think you definitely want to try to branch out to a lot of people. And one thing is, when you get to high school, you could start trying to take art and like theater arts and those types of things, and you could just keep reaching out to people and keep trying. Like you said, just like work with YouTube and stuff, work with social media, and try to find people that can help you with this stuff, and just keep working on it. Like branch out to commercials and stuff. If you would like to be an actor, one way I know definitely is to try to find local. Like acting areas.
Sure.
Like,
start small with local theater and commercials and dance
hopefully
performances.
Someone will start to notice you, and people will start to notice you after a little while. And then that's when you start to get to the bigger levels of starting to work with movies and stuff.
Right. Get asked to go places to like Hollywood and stuff like that.
Maybe visit some schools or visit some places, talk to some people.
Get
and really
advice from professionals and stuff like that.
Great suggestion. Getting advice from professionals, talking to your counselors, talking to your families about your passion, because it's really important in this day and age to not lose track and sight of our passions, right? Because that's really kind of what fires all of us into
The person we are.
There you go. Well said. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. That wraps up UTalk Q&A. Now coming up in our next segment, Mrs. Turner is joined by our 8th grade UTalk members, and they discuss all the high school options available in New Hanover County. Don't go away. We have much more UTalk ahead.
Start your day with New Hanover County Schools, The Morning Show. This Rise and Shine program will put a smile on your face and a spring in your step. Best of all, you'll start the day a little smarter. The Morning Show features an exciting 6-hour mix of exclusive features, cooking, entertainment, news, science, math, and more. New Hanover County Schools, The Morning Show, educating all viewers to achieve today and tomorrow in a global community. Only on this channel.
Welcome back to UTalk. I'm Paige Turner, school counselor at Noble Middle School. New Hanover County Schools offers a wide range of options for high schools. From unique schools to specialty programs within schools, there are many choices for middle school students. We are now joined by our 8th graders who are currently in the process of making a choice for high school. We'll discuss how they are going about it. All right, welcome guys, big 8th graders. So let's talk about high school. So you guys for actually several weeks now have kind of really been exposed to what the different high school options are, the differences between them, the similarities, just trying to get as much information as possible so you can make an informed decision. What decisions, let's maybe just start with what is available for 8th graders as they transition to high school. What options are out there?
So many.
Oh,
So many,
They
exactly.
have so many different high schools.
Yes.
They have the traditional high schools, which are Laney, New Hanover, Ashley, and Hoggard, but then each one of those has specialty programs, special to each school, and then there's two or three non-traditional high schools.
There are 4.
Oh, they're okay.
Yes.
There's 4 non-traditional
There's
high
so
schools.
many, so
So
many.
there's a lot of different options.
Yes.
It kind of forces you to make a decision about what you want to do, like what you want to go to college and stuff for.
Yeah.
So it's a big decision.
It
Big
is.
transition, definitely.
It is. Big decision, big transition. And we're not, and this is just choosing a school. We're not even talking about what classes you want to take. I mean, that's a separate
Can't wait till
process.
college applications.
Right, exactly. So, so you did name the 4 traditional high schools.
Yes.
The signature programs, we all know that Laney has the STEM
STEM.
program. Ashley has the
Marine
Marine Science Academy. Hoggard has the
IB
program.
International Baccalaureate
And New
program.
Hanover has
Lyceum.
Lyceum Academy. And then the non-traditional high schools
Isaac
are,
Bear, Wilmington Early College.
those are the 2 early colleges.
Yeah.
And then there's the Career Readiness Academy at Mosley. And then the 4th one is
CTEC?
CTEC, yes, Southeast Area Technical High School. And so each of the schools and programs offer something unique, something different. Or you can just go traditional school and not be a part of a program. So first question is, do you guys feel like you were well informed?
Yes.
Trying to make this decision, you knew what options were out there and what some of the differences were about the program?
It definitely helped with all the teachers getting us ready for it, and then having counselors and just people come into the class and talk to us about it and just give us more information of how these schools are going to be. And I think that helps a lot with everybody like getting ready, because I know a lot of people are definitely stressed, because I'm definitely not ready for the work that's about to come.
Right.
With all this high school stuff. I'm not
Right. Well, it's a
Don't think
lot
you're
of
the only
information that coming at you at once. You have to make some really important decisions, like you guys talked about, and then even anticipating what is it going to be like. You know, being in a much larger school, many more people that you don't really know yet. The workload, it's a lot. It is. So how did you guys make kind of your decisions about where you kind of wanted to go, what you felt like would be a good fit for you?
Well, I think that a lot of these programs are specially designed for careers that you might want to take in the future. I know that IB is more globally involved and thinking outside of the box. And if you want to be like a scientist or a physician, you might want to go to Laney STEM. So it all depends on like what type of careers you want to go ahead. But if you kind of want to have like a general idea, you can probably do any, maybe even go not to these programs if you want to go toward all of these careers that
And
North
just-
Carolina serves.
Yeah, just maybe have, get your basic, high school courses and credits, which you're going to get at any of the schools and programs, but it's whether or not you want to have a little bit of a specialty or, that signature option. So you mentioned careers. Did you guys, coming into this year, know what you wanted to do after high school or college?
I did.
a little bit.
You had an idea?
Sort of.
I knew what I wanted to be.
Okay. Did that help you make that decision for high school, knowing that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or not really?
Not really, because
Okay.
I thought of sports for me because I knew if I did like a specialty program, I wouldn't be able to do the sports that I wanted. So I had to think about that, taking.
Right. And I know that, historically, if you did a non-traditional high school, you really couldn't play sports, but they did add that, for next year. But it does add something to the mix if that's what your focus is going to be, for sure.
I also didn't. I just kind of waited for a little while to just kind of decide, because I also want to be able to make time for outside of school, and some of that's also really important to me.
Yeah.
So I'm just going with a traditional high school right now, because I still want to. I just want to I don't know, I think I'm not the smartest for some of those high schools.
Well, everybody has their strengths, and I think that maybe you just haven't figured out what that is yet.
Yeah.
And if you go traditional high school, you may find your niche, and something that maybe you really didn't even think of right now in middle school. And that kind of leads me to my next question. Do you feel like you were prepared just in terms of making that huge decision about, not only did you have the information, but do you think in 8th grade, you're prepared to make that big decision about
It's
high
a lot
schools?
for just going into middle school.
After a little while, after all the talking about it, and I didn't realize how much like 8th grade would be, like how much they'd be talking about the transition to high school.
Yeah.
Until I really came here and realized.
Do you think that it should have started earlier, like maybe in
Yes.
7th
A
grade?
little
I
bit more,
think we were a little rushed due to Hurricane Florence.
didn't
Because we
help.
kind of started in January, and the sign up thing for all the high schools were immediately due at the end of the month of January. So I think we were a little bit of rushed through to get into high school. So I think if the hurricane did not happen, I think we should have expanded it more so we can have more time to reflect on high schools.
More like a gradual, entering into the whole high school thing.
Because I feel like we got all the options at once, and it was like, wow.
It was
It
kind
is a
of
lot. It is a
overwhelming.
lot. But then you even think about in 7th grade when you're, 12 years old, are you even thinking about high school at that point? You're just thinking about 7th grade, middle school, going to 8th grade.
Trying to finish.
Are you going to be able to think about transitioning to high school? I don't know. It's a lot to think about.
It really is.
Do you think there are too many options out there?
I wouldn't say too many, just like there are a lot.
Yeah.
I think there's a good amount of it.
Okay.
It's just a handful.
Yeah.
It's just kind of is hard that you have to go with one and then stick with it for a little while.
Because some might have certain traits. Like for me, I personally wanted to apply to the IB program and WEX Early College because I felt like they would have more of the needs that I wanted. So, but one of them I wanted to go to more because it had more of an early, I guess, trying to start on college. So it would give me a heads up when I actually do go into college. And then globally, because I wanted to be a lawyer, an international lawyer, which is great. So that's why I wanted to do the IB program. So each one of them has a few characteristics that you could push and pull with.
Right. And I think having lots of options is great. It opens up lots of opportunities. But I think, we don't want to overlook the fact that you can get a fantastic education at any of these schools, any of these programs, or not being a part of a program. So I don't want anyone to think, oh, if I didn't get into a certain school or a certain program, that door has been closed for me, because there are lots of different paths for you to get to the same place. So where have you guys decided on, or are you still in that decision-making process?
Still in the decision making, definitely.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm just going to a traditional for now. But
Yeah, me too.
I think once I enter into high school, I'm gonna try to look around more, and maybe for my freshman year, just stay at the traditional, and then after that, just try to move on and try to branch out and reach out more.
And so where are you going next year? What high school?
Laney.
Laney. Okay. What about you, Connor?
I will be enrolling in the pre-diploma program for the International Baccalaureate for Hoggard High School.
Okay. So the pre-DP program at Hoggard. All right. What about you,
I'm
Macy?
going to Hoggard with no special program.
Okay. With an emphasis in sports.
Yeah.
And Maggie, what are you going to be doing?
WEX.
WEX, Wilmington Early College. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for your input and kind of expertise in this transition to high school. I know it's a lot of information, but it sounds like you guys are kind of soaking it all in really well and are making some really great decisions. So thank you. Now don't go away. When we return, we'll take a look at time management and extracurricular activities. We'll be right back.
Get connected with your school system. Your School News covers news that matters for parents, guardians, and Greater New Hanover County. Stories about preparing students for success in a changing world. Stories where students are achievers.
Internship, I had to, we pretty much made a vehicle from spare parts, and at first we made it so it just moved, and then we made it so it was an electrical vehicle.
Stories of teaching where every child yearns to learn.
Today is all about STEAM. STEAM is kind of the key word to tying art into science, technology, engineering, and math.
Your School News brings viewers more than 8 hours of school news and information, reporting on what's happening in the district, what students are learning, how the school system operates, and beyond. Your School News, only on this channel.
Welcome back to UTalk. Time management is a big part of middle school students' lives. Good time management skills can help reduce stress and anxiety. Adding to the challenge of time management are sports and extracurricular activities. Our panel joins us to discuss how and why they participate in these activities and manage their time. Welcome back, panelists.
Yeah.
So the good old question of time management. How do you do it in a middle school environment with everything going on in the academic world and then balancing it with sports and extracurricular activities? Who has some advice and tips and suggestions on getting it all done? Making a checklist. Tell me more about
calendars, anything like that would help definitely a lot. Maybe like they give you a planner, being able to like, if you want to hang out with a friend this weekend, inform with the parents, write it down in the planner. If you have homework, write it down in the planner. And maybe like put like a stopwatch on your phone or something.
Sure.
Just try to remember.
It's trying to remember to do it consistently.
Commit to that though, you know.
Right.
But like, I mean, during the weekends, like I usually do it on like a Sunday, like all the homework, like when there's like 8 o'clock at night. So then like, I mean, that's kind of bad, but I mean, you should probably like try to do it like, and when you get home on Friday or like when you get home like on every day when you have homework like right away, so you get to actually have fun later.
Yeah, like you could do it in like sections, like make sure you do this amount that day, this amount the next day, this amount, yeah, so on.
Sure, like try to plan it out throughout the week or even the weekend to get caught up and then get ahead. Yeah. How many of you really do write things down or make a list? Be honest.
I don't really.
Let's get real here.
I don't have that stuff. Like, honestly, I barely have pencils at my house because I don't like write anything. I can say myself truthfully that I am not very good at time management, but I still always try to like remember the time. I used to have a watch, but that doesn't work anymore, so I'm stuck with the clock whenever I go places and stuff like that.
Well, I use the calendar on my phone.
Okay.
So I get notifications when something's going to be due, or like, you know, when I have after-school activities.
I was just going to ask if any of you use electronic devices to keep you on task or on track.
I have timers on my phone, and I set timers for like certain days of the week. Like if I'm like supposed to leave and go somewhere, I'll have a timer set for that.
Sure.
Or like a stopwatch or something. Or I'm not a stopwatch, obviously, but just a clock to have around is nice to know the time.
The time limits that you have and what you've got to work with outside of school, because that's really, I believe, the critical time when you've got to get your homework done, get prepared for the next day. How many of you are in sports or extracurricular activities like clubs or things that you do outside of school? So getting all of that in and the practices and the performances. Do you do a lot of it in the car? Do you do a lot of it late at night?
I do a lot of it late at night.
At school?
Because the homework isn't too bad, and sometimes it's pretty easy to get it done at like the last couple minutes of class when you get free time. It's pretty easy to do the homework at that time.
That's a good suggestion.
I always do homework when I have the best time. Like there's some teachers who are like, if you finish all your work, you can do your homework in class. But there's some teachers who are like, homework is not something that you do in class. It's only at home.
So maybe really understanding what opportunities you have within the school day to get some work done. And some teachers do allow that and some do not. So kind of planning around that and then looking at your schedule. Have you ever looked at something like a calendar and worked backwards and tried to figure out, okay, if this is game day or if this is performance time, then what do I need to do leading up to that to get, have you ever tried that approach or manage time like that?
I used to have a calendar in my room, and if I didn't have it and if I didn't know what day it is, my whole day would just be going crazy.
Sure, it's hard. It's a lot to keep track of, but we do need some sort of plan, right, to function and get from point A to point B and to get all the things that we want to do in life in. Do you ever feel overcommitted or like over involved with your activities that you're trying to do or manage? How about you, Maya?
When you have like a lot of stuff on the same day, like
How
you have
do you-
like 3 tests the same day, homework and like after school activities. Like if you have after school activities like the day before a big test that you didn't study for.
Right.
Yeah.
It's hard to choose, but then it doesn't sound like that happens often, but when it does, it's just a lot, right? So how do you manage that and just get through it, I guess, right?
Yeah.
How about you, Josh?
Like also you can like do like 2, like there's this thing called a reporter log where you have to like news, like this big worksheet, I guess. You have to like watch like 15 minutes of news or like do an article and then like write down like your opinion and summary of it. Like maybe do like 2 a day, like, and then so that you don't have like a big fat 0 at the end of it, you know.
And figuring out a plan to get those, I mean, it sounds like little assignments, but that add up to a big score, a big grade, and then making time for that and working around your commitments outside of school so that you can manage and get everything that you need to finish done in a timely manner. And I like what Noah said earlier. He was kind of admitting that he's not really great with time management, but he's trying, and I hope all of you are too, and it sounds like you are, and hopefully our students who are listening or anyone tuning in to our show today can also relate, and maybe we've shared a few suggestions or ideas to keep trying and make sure that you've got some type of game plan to get it all in and enjoy life and balance, right? Ultimately balance. Well, that wraps up our program this month. I'm Megan Demolina on behalf of my co-host, Paige Turner, and the entire U Talk panel. Thanks for watching. We hope you'll submit questions to our show and tune in again next month for an all-new episode of U Talk.